In the following exercise, we are going to create a pivot table based on a set of data, and then we're going to create a map. The map will be based on South African provinces, but can be used in any country in the world, well, most, and it can in fact be used down to municipal level. However, for municipal level, one does need the longitude and latitude coordinates, whereas for provincial and or country level, as you can see here, all we need is the name of the province, obviously correctly spelled, otherwise it won't recognize it. So let's first create our pivot table, and then after that we can create our map. As seen in lesson number 1, that's the pivot table basics. We'll click on pivot table here. We're going to put it in a new worksheet and click on OK. Chooses that data set. Now I'm going to create province there. South Africa has 9 provinces. Okay. The type of bikes sold, obviously we're working out the context of this example by looking at what we're doing here. And the units over here, well, by units we really do mean units of bikes sold and rands. Okay, so there we have it there, the amount of bikes sold, and those essentially do indicate a numerical value for that. What I've done is I've reduced the decimal places to 2. So, for example, in the Free State, we have sold 1.9 million. Okay. In Gauteng, we've sold 1.4 million mountain bikes and so forth. Okay, all right. Now the interesting thing is, and I'm going to get rid of this so as to create some lateral space. The interesting thing is, in order to create a map based on these, we have to perform something of a trick. Okay, the first thing is we've got to do is we've got to type province here. Okay, that's the one thing we've got to do, overwrite that with province. Okay. And I'm just going to go with mountain bikes. I'm going to exclude the total. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste values. Okay, paste values only. All right. Now my map is going to be based on this particular data, set of data here. Okay, it won't work it straight off the pivot table. But wait, we will force it to later. We have to do this first. Let's go to insert. And let's go here to maps and click on that. You have to be online, by the way. You have to be online for this. Okay, so it's busy researching the GPS wherever it gets its information from. I'm not so sure, but there it has actually done that. Look, there we go. Now what's really nice about this? Well, before we discuss slices, let's just click on the inside here, right click and go to select data. And for selection of data, I'm going to reselect the pivot table. Okay, and now I can actually get rid of these 2 columns. For reasons that are difficult to explain, it will only work if you do it this way. Okay, now let's introduce a slicer. All right, so I'm going to insert a slicer, and here's the slicer over here. And whoops. You've got to be active inside that for the slicer. Okay, all right, so let's go and introduce slicer, not type of bike. Let's go salesperson. Click on OK, and there are salespeople. I've got 7 salespeople over there. Now watch this. If I choose Alan, it'll change the map. John, it'll change the map. Ricky, it'll change the map. How fantastic is that? So these are the beginnings of a dashboard.